Thank you guys for tuning in the channel today. We're going to be building bag F of the Tekno SCT410 2.0. In this build, we're going to be building some turnbuckles. And if you can see this little tiny notch, it always goes to the left. I wanted to go ahead and explain that before I got started. And as you can kind of see, I laid it out how it's going to be assembled on the vehicle to make sure that I don't get those mixed up as I'm building. One thing to notice, these are both identical pieces. I believe they can be used left or right. That's really nice. Don't have to worry about getting those mixed up. Check out these universals for the rear. That is awesome. You don't got to worry about putting a little pin in and doing all that stuff. These should be really, really strong. So good job, Tekno, for that. But yeah, let's get started. I think first off, I wouldn't mind just go ahead and build these turnbuckles. It's my least favorite part of building kits. And for that, I'm going to be using some chapstick here. Grease those threads up. And how I like to do it is with a drill here. And since this side is the reverse thread, as you can see the notch here, the side on the right is the reverse thread. I think I want to use the drill, chuck it in this side, and spin it in reverse to get those into this piece here. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to chuck this in my drill. Make sure it's running reasonably true. Go ahead and take our chapstick. Going to grease this thread up pretty good. Should make it installing into that plastic piece right here a whole lot easier. And this is going to be a reverse thread. Smear that on there really well. So we need to make sure our drill is spinning in reverse. And you can kind of run these in and out a few times and make it to where they're easier to adjust. But I might do that later. We're just going to, for the sake of building it, go ahead and see what we can do. I want to get this a little bit more true in the chuck here. I want to try to hold this as straight as possible. We're just going to run it all the way down for now. I'm going to unchuck it. Set it back up here. Make sure that that still looks right. Still does. And let's go ahead and do this reverse thread. Go ahead and chuck this up. Make sure it's running pretty true. I'm going to go ahead and get our chapstick, grease that up a little bit. We'll take our piece here. And it's going to be reverse thread. Opposite side of the notch is a reverse thread. Make sure we're threading straight. Looks pretty good. All right. Take that out. We'll set this here. As you can notice, notches are still on the left. So let's go ahead and screw the right side in. And this is just going to be the side with a notch is a normal clockwise thread. Get that good and greased up. It's a lot easier to get the normal threads started by hand than the reverse threads, in my opinion. And we'll run that in as far as we can. Another thing you can do is we can go ahead and pop these guys in, and you get some tools and kind of spin this. Seems to be going okay by hand. Since that's getting a little difficult, we're going to go ahead and do this. You have two different length sizes of these. This is the shorter one. It's going to go into the angled one to the outside. I'm going to grab my shock tool here. We're going to go ahead and install these. I think this will make it easier to install the threads. And these are the longer balls. They go to the inside. See, now that this is installed, we can take a couple of screwdrivers here, run it through, and this will make this a whole lot easier, as you can see. And the reason I installed the little metal balls is so I don't hurt the plastic. You could have done this without. All right, now that we have that installed, we'll go ahead and screw this one in. Get our chapstick here. Get it nice and greased up. We'll start this by hand, and then we'll finish it with kind of our screwdrivers, like we did on the other one. And we will check our lengths in just a minute. All right, maybe set this to the side. This is the actual size in the instruction manual here, and pretty close. Looks like I need to come out some, so I'm going to grab my tool right here. I'm just going to grab like right here. This seems to work really well. Maybe take this side out some. That looks very close. I think I'm going to leave that just like so. We can always adjust it on the vehicle. And let's go ahead and look at this one, the other side. And close, but looks like it needs to come back out a little bit as well. I'll screw that out. Maybe check this. maybe needs to come out a little bit more. I think I'm going to try to move that one out. See how that looks. Looks great. I think I'm going to leave it alone. If we need to adjust it more, we will on our vehicle. Now that we got the hardest part taken care of, let's go ahead and build our blocks here. Start by putting all these flanges in. Looks like. Goes like so. Insert your drive shaft through the bearings. You get the little bitty pin goes in. Like that. And then get your wheel hex. That pin will go in those slots right there. Got to get it nice and centered. And a little set screw will go down in that hole with a little bit of Loctite. And you do not have to over tighten these. And try not to over Loctite them either. You want to screw that in. And that's a tiny little set screw, so I'm not going to over tighten it. Just making sure that it goes down below the wheel hex there. All right, got that side assembled. We'll do the same for the other side. Insert our drive shaft. Put our pin through. Get our wheel hex. Put it on. We'll set it down. Get our set screw. Tiny bit of Loctite. And snug that up. Definitely not going to get it over tight. All right, we'll set these out of the way. Next, we're going to be installing this on our A-arm. You have a thin shim and a thick shim, and they are going to go towards the back side here. Right in this space here. Be using this hinge pin here. I'm going to go ahead and start this nut on there. On the one side. And then I'm going to insert it through the A-arm. Like so. I'm going to go ahead, put my shims on. With them on, I'm going to back that out just a hair. Got to get my knuckle back in. Like so. Should come out the other side. It will get another nut. And we will tighten both of these up and we shall be good to go. It's good and tight. Shouldn't be too tight. Should be able to move freely like so. Go ahead and do the same on the other side. We're going to have our thick shim and our thin shim. Go ahead and set those aside. Take our hinge pin here. I'm going to go ahead and get the nut started on one end. Start it through here. Put our thin shim first. Then our thick shim. I'm going to back that out just a hair to where I can get a block in. Looks good. Go ahead and put a nut on the other side. And we're going to tighten those up. Now that both of those are installed, we can go ahead and bring our turnbuckles back here and we can start to install those. Notch always to the left, and the angled piece is going to the arm out here. And stop position looks like it is the outermost hole. So we can go ahead and slide that in there. And it takes one of these screws. You got 4 of them. They're all the same length. Through there. You'll take one of your remaining small nuts here. Start it. And the plastic piece is notched, so it should hold that nut in place while we tighten it up. Like so. Go ahead and do the same on the other side. Notch goes to the left. Take one of our longer screws. Got it through. Take our nut. Get it started. Push it down in the slot. Like that. All right. Make sure your drive shafts are installed in the slots, like so. And then we're going to install this onto our shock tower, and it is going to go in the top hole to the inside. If you guys can see that. And it will go on this side of the shock tower. like so. And then we will get a metal washer and a nut. Get a wrench to hold it. Like so. Get our other metal washer. Put on that side. Get our nut. Wrench to hold it. And there you have it. That has been bag F of the Tekno SCT410 2.0. It's looking like we got our rear assembly almost all finished. Thank you guys for watching.